Welcome back, boys and girls, girls and boys. We are still here in Mansfield, and the first round has now finished. Ben, how do you think it went?
Yeah, I think it went quite well actually. From the what I've seen with the Warhammer side, there might have been a few upsets. Certainly some big results. I know young newcomer Dan Thomas. I say young, I don't actually know how old he is. Looks about
He's younger than me. He's younger than me, I think. How rude. Oh, is that a good thing? No, I think that's a good thing.
Dan Thomas, 20-0 win against Keith Wilkinson, so that's a great result for Dan in the first round. I know Keith fancied himself as being, maybe in with a shout. He had a good comp score, he bought the big Vampire Lord. Dan took all of it off, pretty much, and 20-0 win. Some other good results. Tom was playing against the spare player, Mohammed.
Yep.
And
Mohammed.
Mo. And Purple Sun ruled the day on that one. Tom's Butcher rolled Purple Sun and proceeded to cast it every single turn. And I think they said in turn 5 alone, he took off about 1,000 points worth of Purple Sun. So, great result for Tom. That's another 20-0 win.
That's amazing, really. I've got to say that I am quite surprised, not by Dan's playing ability, but the fact that Dan was able to 20-0, because he did. When every time I kept going over, he looked a little bit nervous.
Yeah, it was a bit shaky hands with shaky tape measures and things like that. But
I came up with an analogy when I was chatting to you earlier. I said that to me, Dan seems like a small fish in a very, very big pond, but he's actually swimming as fast as some of the bigger sharks at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right on that. So elsewhere in the event, on this table behind us, we had Will Goodwin against Raph Harbinson.
Yep.
Raph said the same as he does in every single game. He gives us the mark line of it's all horrible, it's all going to be bad. That's one of Ben Johnson's favourite lines as well.
Okay.
And in the end, it was an 11-9 win to Will, so only a small difference in that one. What have we got elsewhere?
We had Haristo.
Yeah, Haristo played Mike Newman, and apparently they'd played each other previously with similar armies.
Okay.
And the Kadai Destroyer ran through the army and took it all off and got the big win for Mikey. This time, Mikey managed to get the Destroyer and the Bull Centaur unit with both Tarots into the Dwarf Lord's unit, and the Dwarf Lords just beat him off. Killed the Destroyer in the first round, killed the Tarots and the Centaurs a round or two later to give Haristo a 17-3 win.
I mean, that's fantastic. Haristo is, I think, a really, really good player and one of my top 3. Did I say he came second?
Yeah, I think your predictions finished quite high. So
against Mikey, and he was just playing Mikey, so actually it's kind of coming true at the moment, because I bumped Mikey off to put Haristo there, you see. So good. Were they also the first team to finish?
Yeah, I think they were the first ones done. It finished quite quickly, that one. Chaos Dwarfs, which are quite fast, oddly as it sounds, with Chaos Dwarfs.
Yeah.
A fast Chaos Dwarf army running at a static Dwarf army in the corner. There's not many units on each side. It's no magic. Not a lot of magic was going on, so it was a quick game. Now,
what about my personal favourite, Mrs. Wildman of mine? How did he do?
Mrs. Wildman lost 20-0, unfortunately. He did his whole big smile, pushed it all forward, pushed his 6 Necro Knights. He's got Ram Hotep in the list, so he's got rerolls on his arm saves. And he charged the flank of the Mornfang unit.
Okay.
But they were stubborn through magic, and then the Gut Star came in the side of the snakes, took all them off, and then just, it was all over. I was screaming then.
Dear. But I have got to say, I know I gave Mark a little bit of a hard time on our live podcast about how excited he was to be here. He has totally got the attitude that he is just here for excitement, just here for games, and actually he would like to win, don't get me wrong, he would really like to win, but it's not about the winning. I think it's about the prestige of being here, and he is just taking it in his stride. I mean, he's over there at the moment, smiling and laughing. He isn't red-faced. I didn't see him get red-faced. Even though he was playing the guy from the X Factor, Christopher Maloney. There you go. And who else did we have?
We had some other games going on. So
was it Chris Legg?
Jack Armstrong versus Chris Legg. Jack's listening now. You might be able to see him in the background. Jack had a bit of a nightmare with his Chaos Lord. Maybe bad positioning, maybe a calculated risk which went bad. But he managed to get charged in the flank by a Direwolf unit, which is normally a walkover for Chaos Lord. Some bad dice rollings resulted.
Bad dice.
A flank charge and a charge bonus and a rank from the Direwolves.
Okay.
The Chaos Lord lost combat, actually broke and ran away, even though he had his BSB nearby. I think he lost by 2. So he's on a test on 7 with a reroll and he got run down. So that was a huge point swing. But I think Jack was up against it in that one anyway. I think the vampire list Chris had was a little bit better in that matchup than Chaps on.
Okay,
the other game we've not talked about is I'm spinning round now to see what's going on.
I think that is everybody, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's covered him. No, there's Lorenzo versus Andy Spears.
Oh gosh, yes, Andy Spears.
Andy Spears passed 2 Leadership 3 break tests on the same combat to stop the Gut Star running down the Dwarf Lord, and he destroyed the Hammerers, left the Dwarf Lord who wasn't stubborn, and Andy passed his Leadership 3 break test, and then the following turn the Dwarf Lord broke what was left of the Gut Star to get him a 16-4 win, so Lorenzo went down in that one. But it looked like it was going to be a big win to Lorenzo, and that 3 on the break test, very lucky. So.
What has really surprised me, and similar to the initial days of the ETC, is that there aren't any egos here yet. Now, I know exactly.
And I'm not playing.
No, you're all right, actually. Obviously, I know quite a few of the people here, and they're all really, really nice guys. But when you're at this kind of level, when you're at this high in the ranking, there can be a few bruised egos, there can be a few, like, rules queries that get a little bit more fighty and combaty than they should do. I haven't seen any of that yet.
So there's a few reasons for that. First off, a lot of the guys have been here before and they know what the score is.
Okay.
And they do know that, although it's not me that's running it, Ed and John are in charge on the day, they do know we don't take any crap, so we don't want to see no arguing, no bickering. Anything that's controversial and you might want to use, don't be wrong, play all the dirty tricks you want at Masters, fine by me. But make sure you've got your rules right. And if you're unsure, ask in advance and we'll let everyone know what they're up against. So, you know, people are going to be doing conga lines swiftly for it. If they want to, it's fine. As long as they're doing it within the rules, everyone knows that going into it. So there's not the problem where you get one player thinking it's fine to do it and the other player thinking it's not fine. That's when the problems rise. Everyone's on the same peg. And to be honest, this round I didn't see any shady tactics.
No.
Didn't see anything that needed an eye. It was mostly alright. One of the other things I wanted to mention was it's the 5th year we've run the Masters now.
Wow.
And we've only got one player who's been to all 5. Ben Johnson's been to all 5 events.
I don't know if I'm familiar with him. Is he known?
No, he used to do a podcast himself. Wasn't a very good one.
Oh, right.
And he, some might think he's behind the camera. And so he's been to all 5. Not got his name on the trophy yet. Chris Legg, I think, has qualified for 5, couldn't attend one due to work.
Okay.
I think Will has been to 3 of them. We've got a lot of new faces here as well, and a good mix of new faces and old faces. So it's looking to be a really good event, and round 1's thrown some really interesting results up. Dan Thomas, 20-0 win in the first round, has pretty much wiped out his points deficit from having an illegal list. So he's right back in there, certainly thrown the cat amongst the pigeons.
No, absolutely. And to be honest, I do want him to prove me wrong. I said that he was going to come bottom. Maybe he won't with a 20-0. You never know. It might actually be Mark. So I hope it's not.
I think Mark will be feeling around the bottom for sure. So
feeling my bottom or feeling your bottom?
Feeling around the bottoms.
And I've got to say, your chubby little face is getting a bit slimmer as well, mate. So it is working.
It's getting there, isn't it? Although you did feed me white bread at lunchtime.
Yes,
so.
but that was a test to see, are you going to eat this bread? You didn't.
Yeah. Dinner time.
Talking about food, if you wouldn't mind just picking up the tray, a few people wanted to see the kind of things that I've been baking. Well, these here are my cupcakes. They are lemon and poppy seed with a butter icing on top. We've got little oaty biscuits, which are just here, and macaroons, which I'm very, very happy about. So if people want to test them, eat them, come to the tournaments.
It was really good.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Come and find Gareth at any of the tournaments.
Absolutely.
And coming up, we've got what, the Sheffield Slaughter,
yeah,
bits like that.
We've got that. We've got Merseyside Meltdown as well. Rushden Rumble, I'm going to be actually playing at. Can you believe me getting an army at? And later on today, I'm going to be putting together my Mortis engine.
Mortis engine?
My actual Mortis engine. I bought that. I'm going to be cutting all the little sprues out, so you'll also be getting an update about how I'm doing with that as well. So cool. But we will give you an update about halfway through the round.
Yeah,
do you think?
I think we're going to do another one shortly with the draw for the second round.
Of course,
we'll talk about that. And then we'll update during the round as well. So stay tuned. And, you know, on Twitter, Facebook, and the Warhammer Forum as well, all the places you can get hold of us. So
yeah, text me, call me, love you.